Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fenway Park. On October 22nd, the Boston Red Sox announced the hiring of Alex Cora as the 47th manager in franchise history. And today, after a little bit of a delay, we're fortunate enough to have Alex here and meet with the media. But before we hear from Alex and get started with the question and answers, Red Sox President of Baseball Operations, Dave Dombrowski, would like to make a few opening remarks. Dave?
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I know it's been a couple weeks to this time, but we're thrilled to have Alex with us on board, an official member, full-time. Situation when we went through an interview process, myself and 6 other individuals that I thank a great deal. We were in a spot where Zach Scott, Jared Banner, Frank Wren, Allard Baird, Brian O'Halloran, and Eddie Romero were all part of that interview process. We, of course, got a lot of feedback from other individuals, had some lengthy interviews with the individuals, candidates. We selected Alex as our thought process, as the person that we thought would provide the type of leadership, the type of communication, type of respect, quality baseball man, present in analytics, very contemporary in that regard. Everywhere I turned and talked to individuals trying to do my background, because I really didn't know Alex very well other than shaking his hand throughout my career, I received positive feedback from everyone. If it was someone in our front office, someone that had dealt with them in the clubhouse from a player perspective, young players, veteran players, alumni. A coincidence that John Henry and Tom Werner had a meeting in New York during the postseason for other business. They got together with Alex and came back with the same way, as far as everybody thinking that he'd be the ideal type of leader for the Boston Red Sox organization. So we're absolutely thrilled that Alex is with us. Look for him to provide the type of person that we need to lead us to a lot of quality play in upcoming years, to try to win divisions and championships. And I look forward to working with him myself. So Alex, welcome, congratulations. Let me see if I think we'll know what size hat and jersey you wear, but welcome aboard, Alex Cora.
Thank you. Gain some weight in the World Series, huh?
It's good. Congratulations. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank God to put me in this platform. It's been a blessed year, starting with with the Winter Bowl Championship, Caribbean Championship, the WBC, the Houston Astros, and now this opportunity. So thank you, God. Thank you for everything. My family, I got 2 of my kids here, Camila and Jeriel. Thank you for being here. The other 2, they're in Houston, Texas, with my mom, my girlfriend Angelica, my sister, and my nephews. The people back home, they're very excited about this. Thank you to Mr. Henry, Mr. Warner, Sam Kennedy, Dave, and the front office to give me this opportunity to trust me. I think it's a perfect situation. I never thought it was going to happen this quick, honestly. For everything I used to say the last few years, I feel like, the opportunity was going to come later in my career to be a bench coach for 1 year with a wonderful organization, people I really appreciate, and we're going to share something for the rest of our careers, the Houston Astros, Jim Crane, Jeff Luno, AJ Hinch, and all those players that have a special place in my heart. But to have this opportunity now is great. There's a good baseball team, a team that, as you all know, has won back-to-back division titles, But at the end of the day, in this city, you know, everybody wants to win a world championship. And for that to happen, you know, my goal is for this team to pay attention to details, show up every day, and try to take advantage of certain situations during the game, either base running, defensively, offensively, or pitching. I think that's going to be the goal of us. We put in a pretty good coaching staff that they relate to me. They're going to be an extension to me, of me. We're going to connect with players, be genuine, and be accessible, and that's the most important thing. This year I learned that talking to players is not bad. You know, having a good relationship with players is not bad, and doing that, you're going to get the best out of them. People might think that, you know, crossing that line is not helpful, but I see it the other way around, and I lived it. You embrace them, you tell them how good they are, and when you have to twist their arm and tell them that that's not good enough, they're going to respond to you. And that's my goal here. I want players to respond to me, respond to the city, and if we do that, you know, we're going to be in good shape. I was telling earlier, we had a meeting, and, you know, Boston, for a lot of people, is a challenge, but for me, it's not. This is a city that, you know, I understand they live baseball 24/7. But you know what? I come from a country that we live baseball 24/7. In my family, for breakfast, we talk baseball. For lunch, we talk baseball, and for dinner, too. You know, my dad was the founder of the Little League chapter in Caguas, where I'm from. He passed away in 1998. And that's why he preached, you know, he preached, you know, school and baseball, you know. And my mom, if you talk to her, she'll be around during the season. She'll talk baseball with you guys, so this is going to be fun. In another note, I want to thank the Red Sox organization for helping my country. I think out of the whole thing here, and I know this is great, this is cool, but for you guys to provide a plane for the relief efforts of Puerto Rico after the Hurricane Maria, this is awesome. And from my end, Dave, I want to give you the flag of my country, just to give you a thank you for what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Al.
No, thank you. Thank you. It's been a tough month for all of us back home. And like I said after the World Series, to be able to see Carlos Correa, Carlos Beltran, Juan Centeno, and Alex Cintron, you know, talk about our country, it's been amazing. But for me to be in this platform and knowing that there's a lot of people who are able to watch this back home, you know, all I can say, and I'm going to say it in Spanish, este triunfo es de todos ustedes. Le doy las gracias por el apoyo a través de todo el año y me siento honrado de ser parte de esta organización. Esta organización es única, la llevo en el corazón desde el 2005 que estuve aquí. Mi familia, todos en mi familia, estamos agradecidos de esta posición en que estamos, de la oportunidad que tenemos y lo repito, Puerto Rico se levanta. Le doy las gracias a todos ustedes por todo lo que han hecho por nosotros, por el apoyo, pero ahora el apoyo es de nosotros. Y como estaba diciendo ahora mismo, le doy las gracias a la organización de los Medias Rojas de Boston por prever un avión en el que vamos a llevar a Puerto Rico para seguir ayudando a nuestra tierra, que tanto la necesita. Gracias y que Dios los bendiga.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Dave. So before we begin with questions, please know that if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand, wait for a microphone. There are 3 microphones, one on either side here and one in the middle aisle. We also ask that you identify yourself and state your media affiliation. So we can begin in the back, right? Johnny.
Hi, Alex. Johnny Miller, WBZ Radio. Alex,
Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Alex. Can you talk about being the 2 questions? Can you talk about being the first minority manager of the Red Sox? And secondly, how important will the pitching coach be?
As far as being the first minority manager of the Boston Red Sox, I always said, you know, the last few years, you know, and I'm a capable manager, you know, and it was going to come down to somebody to give me that opportunity, you know, and I never thought that I was getting interviewed because I was a minority. It happens to be, you know, I'm proud to be a Puerto Rican, and as you guys know, you know, you guys will see it, you know, you're going to see that flag, you're going to see, you know, a lot of fans from back home, but I see it that I'm a capable guy. And yeah, the history, I understand, and you know, the history throughout the game. There's not too many Latino managers, there's not too many minority managers, but there's 30 capable managers, and I'm one of them. The second one, about the pitching coach, he's gonna be very important. You know, this is an organization that is gonna work hand in hand with the analytic department, with Banny. He's gonna help us out, and the pitching coach that we choose, he's going to be able to connect with them and connect with me and obviously connect with the pitching staff. This is a talented pitching staff. We know that. I saw it firsthand. They almost pushed them to the brink, you know, in that first series. So we'll work together. We'll choose the right one, and whoever it is going to be a good one.
Okay, we go Steve on the right here.
Steve Buckley, Boston Herald. Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you, Steve.
During the off-season, going into spring training, without being too specific, can you discuss what level of outreach you'll have with Red Sox players, particularly veteran players such as Dustin Pedroia and David Price?
Yeah, throughout the process, obviously after the interview, you know, and after we made the announcement, I have talked to a few of them, you know, and obviously I was in a tough situation because I was the Red Sox manager from 8 till 11, and then I became the bench coach for the Houston Astros. So, you know, I touched bases with them, told them, you know, that I was excited to be here. Obviously, throughout the offseason, I'm going to talk to a lot of them, probably visit some of them, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, I know some of them. I don't know most of them, but I want to, before I get to Fort Myers, I want to have a feeling what they are all about, and obviously I want them to understand what I'm all about and what the plans are.
Okay, Dan?
Alex, Dan Roach from WBZ. Just a thought on experience. People say, oh, he doesn't have any managerial experience on the major league level. Just a thought on coming in here and coming to a city like Boston with that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand experience is important, but in the situation I was as a baseball player, I was a utility guy. And, you know, I was managed by a lot of good ones. You know, Davey Johnson, Gene Tracy, Tito Francona, and Jerry Manuel. And when you're a utility guy, you have to pay attention to the game. You really do. And a lot of people back in the day used to say that, you know, I was going to be a future manager. I used to hate that question, that statement, because I wanted to keep playing, you know. So it seems like they were pushing me out of the game. But I learned a lot from those managers. I learned a lot this year from A.J. Hinch. And people don't give him too much credit sometimes, and I feel this guy is a superstar. He's a star. And to be right there with him, you know, we had good times, we had bad times, and we had horrible times, but at the end of the day, we have a ring, you know, and we learn a lot. I learned with the analytic department. I learned from Jeff Luno. And I don't think experience is going to be an obstacle for me. I think I'm prepared, and I'm surrounded by people from top to bottom that have experience, you know. Dave Dombrowski, Tony La Russa, Ron Renicky, you know, the coaching staff. These guys, they're being around, and they're going to help me out. So it's not about just me. It's about the staff that is around me, the people that are going to support me, and I'm going to be fine, man. I'm going to have a blast doing it, too. So looking forward to for the challenge.
Okay, Tim in the middle.
Tim Britton with the Providence Journal. Speaking of experience, how much did your experience in Puerto Rico managing winter ball help prepare you for this? And for Dave, you had mentioned experience being maybe more important here than in some other markets. What made you comfortable with Alex?
The 2 years I managed in winter ball, they were tough because I was managing in my hometown. So I always joke around that whenever I made a bad move the night before, I will go to the bakery to get breakfast, and somebody was crushing me right there. So I'm used to that. Winter ball is a lot different. It's a lot different. You know, you have to deal with organization, with restrictions, and, you know, with guys that get sick all of a sudden, they're taking a plane the next day, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we need a catcher. So it's different, but at the same time, you're managing people, you know. I think the most important thing about all the jobs that I had, is that you're dealing with people, dealing with organizations, and that's going to help me out throughout the year. The most challenging one out of all the jobs, and I'm going to bring it up, is the WBC. That was challenging. You have a country that you have to, please. We had 3 good shortstops that we needed to find how we were going to play them, and all of a sudden, you got Correa at third, Lindor at short, and Baez at second, and nobody say anything. So that was a challenge, but at the end of the day, it worked out. So out of all the jobs I'd had before, that was the most challenging, and I learned a lot. And, I think that prepared me more than anything else.
For me and for us, it came down to, in the past, when we talk about gaining experience to manage, we would talk about, well, go to winter ball and manage for a couple of years. Well, Alex has done that. It may not be the same as the big leagues by any means, but it is an experience of calling the shots during the game. He was with the WBC. He's a bench coach to a very well thought of manager, so experience in every single play that you're involved in. And of course, I think when you sit down with Alex, there's some players you talk to, some people in the game that have been players that manage every single play that they're in. They're thinking all the time, they're thinking what they would be doing. And it was apparent with his intellect and feel for the game that not managed at the major league level was not a major obstacle for us.
Okay, we'll go to Junior right here.
Junior Pepe, WJDA y Univisión. Alex, felicidades primeramente.
Gracias.
2 preguntitas rápidamente. El sentir tuyo de convertirte en el primer dirigente de minoría en una franquicia tan tradicionalista como los Medias Rojas de Boston. Y la segunda es, realmente, ¿cuál es el principal reto que tú vas a enfrentar dirigiendo a una franquicia tan grande como esta?
En cuanto a lo de la minoría, entiendo el peso que tiene y entiendo que represento no solamente a los puertorriqueños, sino a toda Latinoamérica y la gente de color. Eso es obvio. Nunca lo he visto como un obstáculo. Siempre dije que hay muchas personas, muchas minorías que son capaces para ser dirigentes de Grandes Ligas. Cuando nos consideran capaces, ahí es que se iba a dar. Y lo estamos viendo este año, Dave Martínez y mi persona. Así que no lo veo como un obstáculo, lo veo como que sí, tengo que representar a mi gente de la manera correcta y lo he hecho en toda mi carrera. En cuanto a los retos aquí, ganamos 93 juegos, así que ganaron. Así que la meta principal es ganar series mundiales. Yo lo he vivido aquí, sé que aquí se vive el béisbol 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana, pero a nosotros los latinos nos encanta eso. Sé que van a venir presiones de muchos grupos, especialmente la fanaticada, pero para mí eso no es un obstáculo tampoco. Yo creo que me lo voy a disfrutar y tenemos un muy buen equipo.
Okay, Pete, right here on the right.
Hey, Alex, congratulations. Peter Abraham from the Boston Globe. You mentioned before about playing in Boston. How much of an advantage do you think it is that you have played here, you've lived here, you know a lot of the people in this organization as you take on this job?
I think it's very important that, I already lived the Red Sox Nation experience. To come back is amazing. Living through 05, 06 wasn't great for us, and then 07 was outstanding, and then in 08 we fell short. But like I said before, people, they live baseball here 24/7, and I understand that. I understand that people want to talk about this team, and I'm going to be able to talk about this team. That is an obstacle, that is pressure. I don't see it that way. I just see it as an opportunity. This team is good. That's the first thing. We're going to be all right. So as a manager, I'm going to be genuine with people, and, we're going to do what we're supposed to do on the field. We're going to have fun doing it too.
To follow up on that, how many of your former teammates have you heard from, and anybody in particular?
Man, there's a lot of people that want to go to Fort Myers. Mike Lowell, Kevin Millar, David Ortiz, obviously Jason Varitek. I didn't play with Petey, but Petey, he's been very supportive. Euclid, Kyle Snyder. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people that, they're supportive and very happy for this accomplishment. And, I thank them all. I learn a lot from a lot of people in this organization, the guys that I play, and I'm going to take advantage of that and help this team out with that experience.
Okay, Nick, right in the front.
Alex, Nick Cafardo, Boston Globe. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Obviously, Houston, probably safe to say the most analytical team in baseball. Do you want your first year to be close to that analytically, or do you think there was too much of it, or what do you think?
No. It was people have the wrong the wrong idea about the Houston Astros. You know, yeah, they do an outstanding job with the numbers, and they give them, you know, the Astros, they give them a lot of information. But there's a balance too. You know, at the end of the day, you have to recognize, you know, who's doing a good job, who's in a good situation in the clubhouse, who's ready to play. And AJ Hinch and his staff did an outstanding job recognizing that. And the most important thing about the whole analytical world and the coaches, there have to be connection. And we have to understand that there's a lot of money invested on the analytical department. And when they invest money on this, as coaches, you have to embrace the information. And then you have to filter this information and give it to the players. At the end of the day, you know who wins games? The players. You know, perfect example, I was telling Dave, Charlie Morton in the last game. You know, we had a plan going into it. We had Dallas Keuchel in the bullpen, Justin Verlander in bullpen, but Charlie was rolling, you know, and AJ at one point, he was thinking about hitting for him. I was like, are you crazy? No. You know, and he agreed. He laughed. So, you know, we'll create a balance. We're going to have connection with them, and we're going to use the information. There's going to be different formations probably defensively. We're gonna help this infield to be better. The outfield has, you know, they're amazing defensively, so we don't have to make too much adjustments, but there's going to be certain adjustments that comes from upstairs that is going to make this team better.
Okay, we're going to go to Tom Caron on the left.
Hey, Alex, congratulations.
What's up, Tom?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You mentioned the managers you've played for and worked with and some of the great managers you've learned from. Is there a manager, as you look at your managing style, that you think you're closest to? Is there a manager out there that you think you sort of manage like?
Well, honestly, the guy that really taught me how to see the game different was Sandy Alomar Sr. He was my manager in Winter Ball in 2000. And he was a guy that, you know, obviously two talented kids, you know, in that family, Robbie and Sandy. So he knew what he was talking about. It was like, this is what shocked me. He said, the scoreboard is not for the fans. The scoreboard is for the players. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the scoreboard is going to dictate the way you're going to play the game. Tie game, up 1, up 2, the outs, the innings. That's what he meant. So I start watching that and start taking it into my game, you know, like how to play the game. At that time, bunting was cool, you know, moving guys over was awesome. But I learned from him. The other one and he was here in 2005. Tito came up to me and he said, Alex, you're going to be a big league manager. I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to do it. And he's like, well, you will be. And the most important thing you have to do as a manager, you have to delegate. You have to trust your coaches. And I saw it firsthand this year. And, you know, the staff that we put in together, I'm very excited. I'm very happy that we have those guys, and I'm going to delegate because I can't do it all. You know, like I said before, this is going to be a team effort, and we're going to be good because everybody's together. We're going to be connected.
Okay, Sean right in the middle.
Alex, Sean McAdam, Boston Sports Journal. You were on the short list for a lot of managerial openings. You reportedly pulled out of consideration for one. There were others that opened after you interviewed here. What made this where you wanted to be?
Because they move fast. No, honestly, going into the whole process, and you know, all the teams that called, great teams, great situations, but this, you know, I played here, and this feels like this is home for me. You know, yeah, I played with the Dodgers for 5.5 years, but to come here and win a championship and being part of this atmosphere was amazing. And, you know, the kids, they love it here. My family, they like it, you know. And when the Red Sox call, when Dave gave me that call, I was like, wow, you know, this might happen, you know. And it's something about this place that pushes you. You know, there's no off days here in Fenway Park. You know, it's if you need something to push you that day, well, you look around, and the fans will be here, and they're gonna push you to be the best. that game, the last 4 games of the regular season, the two playoffs games were awesome. Like that game 3 and game 4, the fans were into it. This place was alive. And I had flashbacks looking back what we did in 07, in 08, and I was like, this is fun, At that point, I didn't know what was going to happen, but then it came up, and I was like, well, hopefully they give me a call, and they did. And like I said before, we're glad to be back here. We're very excited, looking forward to the opportunity, and looking forward to win championships.
Okay, Jen on the left.
Jen McCaffrey, MassLive.com. Dave mentioned a couple weeks ago he wanted you to have a veteran bench coach. Obviously went with Ron Renicky. What went into your decision to have him be your guy, and kind of how do you see that relationship playing out this season with him?
Well, I played for Renicky in 1997 in AA for the San Antonio Missions. So I have a relationship with him. He was part of the Dodger organization. At that time, our minor league system, the coaching staff was considered probably the best in the business. So he knows baseball. Second of all, coaching against him this year, he was the guy that you had to pay attention with the Angels. He's in tune with the game. The running game, we always talk about the Angels going first to third and being one of the best base running teams in the big leagues. A big part of why that happened is Ron Renicky. There's a guy that he understands the game. And, when I talked to him, it was like a 45-an-hour conversation. We caught up, and Dave, he was very impressed with Ron, and, he was a perfect guy. This guy is going to help me out. This guy, I know, he was a manager. I understand that's very important. He's going to pull me aside. He's not going to be afraid to tell me, Alex, don't do that or do this. He's going to help me out. But at the same time, he's going to make players better. I had a conversation with Cameron Maben throughout the playoffs, and he's like, Alex, man, if that happens, that's a plus for you. So that's all I needed to hear. So he's going to be great for us.
Okay, in the back right, Butch.
Alex, congratulations. Butch Stearns, Boston 25. Have you had contact with any of the current players? And if not, what's your plan to do that? And then I have a quick follow-up for you, Dave.
Yeah, with a few of them. It was tough, just the traveling and being locked in the World Series, Like I said, man, my whole goal this season was to win a World Series with those guys, with that organization, and we accomplished that. But it wasn't easy in a sense that you have to be, like I said before, I was the manager of the Red Sox for 3 hours, and then, boom, let's go, be the bench coach. So I call a few. They know I'm here for them. They're very excited that this happened and looking forward to talk to them over the course of the offseason, visit some of them, and just tell them what the plans are and be ready for next year.
Okay.
Dave, you had said at the press conference after John got let go that Boston was different, and you've had managers tell you they wouldn't manage in this town. Why is Alex the right fit at this time for Boston?
Well, you can see he loves Boston. He embraces being in Boston. And as he talks about talking baseball all the time, being in a position where that's not overwhelming. As I was talking to different people, one person I talked to that was A.J. Hinch. I've known A.J. for a long time, and he told me, he said, well, with Alex, he said, just remember it. He said, he's baseball. He's baseball 24/7. He said, I'll get a text at 11 o'clock at night. Like, did you see the pickoff move on such and such? I'm watching this. We got to pay attention. It might help us win a ball game tomorrow. So he embraces it. And I think that that's very important. And so for me, not everybody does that. I think people can be overwhelmed by, I mean, look at here, the attention that you get. But he's a person that has experienced it. He'll experience it in a different fashion being the manager, but I think it'll be a situation that he thrives on rather than is the opposite way.
Okay, Ian in the middle.
Hey, Alex, Ian Brown from MLB.com.
What's up, Ian?
How much this experience just sitting next to AJ for a team that went to Game 7 against the Yankees, then Game 7, one of the most memorable World Series we've seen in a while. How much of that experience is going to help you kind of going forward?
It's going to help me out a lot. Going through the whole playoffs, like coming here and, sorry to say it, but clincher here, that helped us, like teach these kids, how to deal with adversity. To come here with a packed house and the pressure of, not going to Game 5, we learn a lot. I learned a lot from him how to handle, the numbers, and how to handle people and how to handle coaches. Obviously players, he's outstanding. So I think the timing was perfect. It worked out perfect. He gave me a call. I think it was November last year, and at that time, the whole TV thing wasn't working. Kind of like there were some changes coming. So I was like, you know what? If I want to be a big league manager, I interviewed with Mike last year with the D-backs, and Tony was in the interview room, and Mike told me that experience is a big factor, and I was like, well, if you want to become a big league manager, you have to dress up and do it. And to go to that situation with that talent and win it all, it made me better. I know it made me better, and it's going to help me out throughout my career.
Okay, Evan on the left.
Hey, Alex. Evan Drellick, NBC Sports
up, Evan?
Boston. Congratulations. When it comes to relationships with players, can you have the same relationship with guys that you did as a player, as a bench coach, as a manager? And is there such a thing as being too close to players as a manager?
No, the too close to players, that doesn't exist. And I think throughout the process, the learning process with the Houston Astros, I lived one that, it was special for me. Carlos Beltran. I played with Carlos Beltran against Carlos Beltran when we were 17 years old. And we played against each other in winter ball. And we played together with the Mets, and we became good friends. I have a great relationship with Carlos off the field, with his family, Jessica, amazing. And throughout the season, although Carlos was huge for the Houston Astros, as far as the performance wasn't what we wanted. And I had to be honest with him, and we talked, and we were still close, So, the whole thing about drawing the line, they understand that. But at the same time, they're human beings, man, and you got to talk to them. You got to see how they feel, And I'm going to encourage my coaching staff to get close to players. Alex Bregman, for example, we were cool, he probably thinks I'm his older brother, I feel the same way, but at the time to push him, I was able to push it because you have a good relationship, and then they understand that, hey, he's not doing it just to get on me, he's doing it because he wants me to get better. And that's what happened over there, and I'm going to bring it over here.
Okay, looks like we have just a few more. Rob over here on the right.
So, Rob. Next.
Wrong. Rob Bradford, WEI.com. You were a big part of the clubhouses when you were here. What do you want to prioritize when it comes to the clubhouse atmosphere, the clubhouse dynamic, things that maybe the manager isn't a part of, like you were a part of back in 2007, 2008?
For them to get along. I think relationships, go you can't be only the baseball relationship. You got to care about each other. That's the most important thing. And the years I played here, you guys felt like Mikey Lowe and myself, we were the bridge of those teams, and we got along with everybody. It really didn't matter because at the end of the day, we knew that, baseball is baseball and we have to win games, but there's more about baseball. And like I said before, I have guys that call me and they care about me and they were very happy for me because I'm here. And that's what starts, those relationships. The other thing about the clubhouse, one thing I would love to, is to hear music after the game when we win. That's the cool part of the whole thing, Play music, enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. Because at the end of the day, to win a big league ball game is hard. It's hard enough. And if you don't enjoy it, if you don't have fun doing it, it's going to get to a point that it's going to be like blah, this is not fun. So we're going to celebrate every win, hopefully, and, we'll celebrate that last one at the end of the season, too.
Okay, Alex in the middle.
Alex Spear with
What's up,
Boston
Alex?
Globe. Hey, Alex. So you mentioned back in 2000, bunting being cool, moving the runner over being cool. Over the last year, how much, being in the dugout now, how much has your view on what an offense should consist of evolved? And specifically when it comes to elements like kind of searching out an approach that opens up power?
No, we want guys, you know, offensively, everybody loves the homers. We get it, you know, but I think the key of an offense is to have a consistent approach, hunting pitches that you can do damage with. You know, the first pitch or a 2-0 pitch. You know, sometimes the first pitch available is the one that you can do damage on. So we're going to have guys ready to do damage early in the count, regardless. Be ready to hit. If it's not where you want it, just take it. You know, these guys on the mound, man, they're tough. They're different now. You know, everybody's throwing 97, 98. Everybody goes up in the zone, 0-2. We got guys throughout the league that chase pitches. So we want guys to be ready to hit and do damage. That's the most important thing. Base running is another way that you can take advantage of the opposition. In an era that there's a lot of people, quote unquote, out of positions, you can put pressure on defenses. You know, stealing bases with. I think the Red Sox over the years have done an outstanding job. It's another tool, another weapon that you can take advantage of it. We have a bunch of athletes here, you know, and we're going to preach that, you know. So it should be fun. You know, it's not going to be a one way we're going to beat you, but we're going to find a lot of ways to take advantage of your weaknesses and try to take advantage and win games.
It looks like we have one final question here. Chat on the right.
Hi, Alex. Chad Jennings from the Boston Herald. You mentioned your relationship with Carlos Beltran. I wonder, does that provide any sort of guidance for managing Dustin Pedroia, who I assume is someone you at least have some relationship with, and a veteran player coming back from surgery? Is that a delicate balance for you to communicate with him and sort of manage that presence in the clubhouse?
First of all, and I want to make this clear, you know, the relationship of me and Dustin Pedroia is going to be forever. You know, Kelly Pedroia with my kids, that relationship is always going to be there. You know, I love that kid. I love his family. They've been amazing for us, and that's not going to change. As a player, you know, I think Petey always look up to me, you know, like as a mentor, as a teacher, you know, and this is not going to change. You know, he understands, you know, that back in the day when he was hitting 120 and everybody wanted me to play every day and he was not the laser show, I was the one supporting him. Me and Mike Lowe, we were with him. We trusted him, and we were helping him out, you know, so nothing's going to change. This kid, you know, well, he's older now, but he has a bad hairdo, too. We'll talk about him shaving his head, too. He's going to help us out, you know, and talking to him, he's very excited. You know, he understands that I'm the manager, and he's a player, but looking forward to manage him. I think with the attitude he brings, with the passion he has for the game, he can always, you know, all he can do is help. You know, we need him healthy. That's the most important thing. But when Dustin Pedroia is healthy, he can help any baseball team. But hey, I'm happy he's in my team.
Okay, thank you, Alex, and thank you, Dave. And before we begin with one-on-ones, I'd like to invite Red Sox ownership up for one final photo opportunity up front here. After you bring the kids, 2 children, after this, his kids. Okay, great, thank you. And guys, we'll have one-on-one set up in this area over here to the right of the table. Take Dave, take him to a spot. Maybe over there. Have Alex right here. Dave is aware that he's... Yes, yeah. Go grab him for me. Good. Thank you. Where's TC? Okay. Tom. TC. Tom. TC. Guys, I'm gonna get him with Neff. I'm gonna get you guys the writers with Dave first, okay?
Kevin, when are we going to do it?